Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Building the Story podcast. My name is Joey the Jag, and this is episode 2, titled Why 9 Books. In this episode, I'm going to talk about why I'm doing 9 books before I do an anime series. Before we get into the video, I want you to know I'm not a be-all, know-it-all. I don't know everything there is in the business. I don't have an education in animation or manga or drawings, stuff like that. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. I'm just someone that loves anime. I love drawing. I love coloring. I love writing. I love animations. And I want to make my very own anime series. So please leave a like, subscribe, follow for more content as I continue my journey of making my very own anime series. Now, why 9 books? It seems like a lot, right? It seems like I'm just, taking forever. I'm dragging it out, and is he ever going to make the anime? I get it. It makes sense. It will make sense to me too if someone's like, hey, I'm making this or I'm doing that. And it's like, when is it going to come out? When is it going to do it? It's not really about when I'm going to do it or how I'm going to do it. It's that I do it. And the purpose and reason of me doing this podcast in the first place is to push myself to do it. Because now that I have a purpose to get to a goal, then I can do the one thing that I wanted to do since I was a kid, make my very own anime series. And there are 6 reasons why 9 books. The first reason is depth of story. And depth of story could be so many things when it comes to making anything. But in my case, depth of story is about the progress and process of the story that's happening. And because of that, stories like Dragon Ball resonate very well with me. The story of Dragon Ball is the story of a monkey-tailed boy who is in the wilderness, and he is found by a teenage girl named Boma. Boma, a blue-haired girl, is looking for these mystical artifacts known as Dragon Balls. What's interesting about this is that if they can acquire 7 Dragon Balls, they can summon the eternal dragon Shenlong, or Shenron. And she wants to wish for a boyfriend. That's her dream. But she knows it'll be a dangerous thing to do to acquire all the Dragon Balls. And she gets smart. She says, there's this little boy who likes to fight. He could be my protector. And so, together, they go on an adventure. Little does Goku know, this adventure changes his life forever. What depth of story is the understanding of the perspective of a main character. The main character goes here, then here, then here, then here. Now, most stories have agenda, news here, politics here, certain things here that have nothing to do with what's going on in story, just to acquire what is known as desire. And desire, as we all know, is the things people want in their hearts and in their mind. That can be woman to woman, men to men. That could be 3 men. That can be a guy that hooks up with a guy that's an enemy, but she's in love with another guy that's the nicest guy in the world. And how will the story play out, right? Those are basically the stories that are known as agendas. And they're cool. You like the stories? Awesome. I read a few. They're cool. The thing is, for me, depth of story is like Dragon Ball. Maybe not the whole Dragon Ball Z lore itself. I mean, you got Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Super Enhanced Edition, Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super Heroes, Dragon Ball movies. Yeah, I almost said boobies, which I just did. Dragon Ball boobies. I mean, Goku is literally married to a girl named Chi-Chi. That means boobies. Okay, jokes aside, I just thought that the story of Dragon Ball, the original manga story, is one of the best stories ever. Not the anime, the manga. Akira Toriyama's original vision. And it's awesome. Now, it is a bit outdated, I would say that, because the story of what happens is a little weird because Goku doesn't know the difference between a boy and a girl, and the way he tries to figure out what a girl and a boy are is to pat them in the body parts and do certain things. Even the pervert Master Roshi does stuff, and it's weird. It's just weird because he's old. He's like 80 years old, even more. And Bulma does this thing where she lifts her dress, and it's just weird. It's weird. I know it's funny, it's comedic, but it's just weird, right? It's good story if you take that out, even throw that in there. One thing I find that's interesting about it, and about me, is I always keep my mind open to things, right? I'm not going to be someone that's going to go, take that out. That's gross. It's okay. I understand Akira Toriyama's humor. He's a comedian. He likes doing gag comics, and he wanted to do a gag comic, but they wanted him to do a martial arts comic too. And so he was able to find a way to mix them out, and now he ended up doing just a whole-on battle shonen story, which worked out. I like that. It's cool. It's fun, right? I have a very open mind on content that I watch, that because my friends, I have a lot of friends, different friends that like different things, and I enjoy stuff that they like. It's cool. It's not a big deal. The thing is, it's outdated in today's society. Seeing a 15-year-old girl being looked at by an 80-year-old man in today's society just doesn't work. So a lot of people actually would like a remake of Dragon Ball because, Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is not a remake, but basically they want a remake of Dragon Ball, which is Dragon Ball Z, so that there's certain things they can take out and add in. And I know people will get upset, like, oh, you need to keep that in there. Don't take that out. You're going to ruin it. You're going to botch it. It's going to ruin forever the legend of the funny stuff that happens. A lot of people love these stuff. But then there's people that understand, you need to take that out. It's, for me, depth of story is the knowledge of the character and who they are. Goku is a loving character that loves his friends, will defend them to the moon and back. He is a loyal friend. He is someone that will always never give up until the opponent is done. He doesn't believe in killing. He doesn't believe in hurting others unless it's necessary. He doesn't believe in doing things like cheating or lying. But one thing that makes Goku interesting is that his pureness is very just pure. To the point where, you know how a dog is pure, but they will still might jump on you even though they shouldn't, right? That's Goku. Because Goku, even though he has pure heart, he just have his own flaws. Again, he doesn't know how to greet people. He doesn't have really good manners. He doesn't see his wife all the time. He's always training and fighting. And a lot of people think he's a bum. But I don't think he's a bum. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people think he's not a really good father. A lot of people think that Piccolo is a much better father than Goku ever was, because Goku is always either fighting or he ends up dying, and then when he comes back he ends up training again. So he's like a fighter. He's like a fighter alcoholic. Goku is like the alcoholic of all fighters in anime. The original story of Dragon Ball is from the Emperor Pilaf saga all the way to the Majin Buu saga. Once that ends, the story of Dragon Ball ended. For me, it did. But I did enjoy the anime. I love the anime, especially Dragon Ball Z with all the filler. I like it. I know it's cheesy, it's weird, and I love the narrator at the end of every episode. Find out next time on the next Dragon Ball Z. Character development. Wow, is character development one of the coolest, interesting things. Take Naruto and Sasuke. This is one of the greatest rivalries of all time. Like it or not, I know the competition is really high up there with Midoriya and Bakugo. You also have Goku and Vegeta. But to me, nothing beats Naruto versus Sasuke. And I'll tell you why. It's because even though Sasuke is better than Naruto in a lot of ways, Naruto is better than Sasuke in a lot of ways. In Dragon Ball Z, Goku is always better than Vegeta. Always. He always surpasses Vegeta. And Vegeta's always trying to catch up. Every time he turns Super Saiyan, Goku turns Super Saiyan 5. You know? So it's like never ever, he's never ever gonna beat Goku. And even if he does end up defeating Goku, he's still gonna feel like you pulled back, didn't you? And Goku's like, no I didn't. And Vegeta's like, damn you, Kakarot! You pulled back, didn't you? Midoriya versus Bakugo. This was an interesting rivalry because Bakugo could have been a villain. And in a lot of ways, he was more of a villain, like a super villain. Like, he had the more traits of a super villain than any other character in the series. But yet, Bakugo became just one of the most amazing characters in the series. And Midoriya just really admired Bakugo. So Bakugo and Midoriya aren't rivals in a sense because Midoriya would never want to ever go up against Bakugo. He's just too cool. Even to Midoriya, he's just one of the coolest people ever. But Naruto and Sasuke are a different thing altogether. What makes them center stage here is that Naruto is isolated and alone. Sasuke is isolated and alone. Yeah, they have brothers and they have their own thing with their own situations and goals. But what Sasuke believes in is to get strong. So strong that no one can beat him. To the point where he will kill anyone that gets in his way. He believes that if Naruto gets strong, he's the only one that can kill him. That's what he believes. But Naruto believes that I will get strong and I will never want to kill you. I will never kill you. I will fight you and beat you up and hospitalize you and put you in bandages, but I will never kill you. I will just do my very best to snap you out of whatever it is you're doing. I love that rivalry. And that to me is one of the coolest character development moments. That's why doing 9 books is so important, because it allows me to write amazing characters. Characters are so vital to creating engaging stories. Each character should have plots and identities and goals that aspire to great things, and rivalries and enemies turn good or good turn bad. Love those type of stories where you don't know what to expect. But if the character is flat, then all you really much get is Guile from Street Fighter 2. Because he has a flat top. You know, like the flat. That's supposed to be a joke. Reason 3, learning while doing. Learning what you're doing is basically you are just making things as you go versus I don't know what I'm doing. 9 books allows me to know what I'm doing, even though the audience might not know exactly what I'm doing. Take Ichiro Oda, for example, the author, illustrator, writer of one of the longest running and most successful mangas out there, One Piece. What makes him interesting and amazing artist is that he has so good memory, but the audience is like, how does he remember this person from this island? How does he remember that treasure that they saw back in Marineford? That was a long time ago. Wait, this was in East Blue. How is it coming up again in Elbath? What's going on? Oh, well, this and that. The audience, us, we're like, dude, is Ichiro Oda just coming up with all this stuff and going crazy? Like, there's a new Lego set of One Piece. Is he just throwing in his own version of Legos and he's doing a series, helping executive produce a Lego series, and now he's doing a Lego set and blah 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 blah. Basically, we think he doesn't know what he's doing. We think, oh, he's not that good of an artist anymore. He used to be good back in the day. Now he's no longer. No! Ichiro Oda has done the best drawings of all time now. He is much better than he was back in the day. That's just my own opinion, but who cares about my opinion? I mean, what you think is what you think. If you think his drawings suck, then, well, go tell Ichiro Oda himself. Don't tell me. I'm not Ichiro Oda. Because Ichiro Oda doesn't just do. He knows what's going to happen. He has notes, sticky notes all over the room from East Blue Saga, from Egghead, from Whole Cake Island, from Drum Island, to Into the Grand Line, to Water 7, all those things. He's got books of stacks of information and details in his safe where nobody knows. So you think he's just randomly throwing things in or just doing stuff and he's outdated and he's no longer a good artist. No, he is a master. It's because he's learning as he's doing. He's learning while he's doing, but get this, and this is the coolest thing. He's doing. That means he's already done the story. He knows where things are going to go. We're already in the final arc of One Piece. The final saga is literally the final war of the entire thing. Everything has been building up to that moment, or this moment we're in right now. It's having 9 books. And the 9 books that I have, those are going to be my guide. It's like a tour guide, guiding me in a museum and letting me know all the historical things in that museum and all the muses that are in front of me. You do the unthinkable and you make an amazing story. Because you already wrote book 1. You already wrote book 2. The audience doesn't know you wrote book 2. You do. You naughty girl or naughty boy. You know what you're doing, right? And 4, building something people can see. This one here is one of the things that baffles me. Because you would think that an anime that is done and finished and completed is going to be one of the best things ever made. But you can be further from the truth. Let's get a good example. Full Metal Alchemist. Now, did you know there's 2 versions of Full Metal Alchemist? There is the original one that they released, and then there is the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This was a remake that added stuff they couldn't add in the original, or didn't add in the original, because they weren't up to date with the manga. Now they remade it. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best animes out there. If you've never seen it, it's great. It's a good story. I like it. But when you build something, just because it's done, doesn't mean it's good. It just means that just because you see it, doesn't mean it's good to go. This is my opportunity to build something that people see that I know is going to have a definitive conclusion to the story I'm making. Most anime and mangas fall short on delivering, an ending. So that's what happens. When I talk about building something people can see, look at Hunger Games. To me, Hunger Games is probably one of the best stories I've ever seen from beginning, middle, and end. If you've never seen Hunger Games, the 4 movies, it's so good because it has such an interesting story that goes from the first movie to the second to the third and the fourth, and it wraps everything up in an interesting way. And you're not just seeing a movie because they just wanted to make the movie and just throw things in there. There was a purpose and a reason for it, and it was a joy and a treat what happens at the end. That movie actually goes parallel to what's happening today in the world. Reason 5, structure. Structure is one thing also that I see. When you don't have a good structure, it's not good. It's like a Jenga. Remember Jenga? Have you ever played Jenga? Please tell me you played Jenga. I'm watching you. I'm going up against you. We're going one-on-one in Jenga, and we're going to see who's going to be the winner. Come on. Come on. Jenga. Anyways, Jenga is basically a game, if you don't know what it is, of blocks. And it's stacked up. And you have to pull one out, and the next player has to pull another one out. If the tower falls, then that player loses. The goal is to try and make the other player make the tower fall. That is Jenga. Interesting, the same thing here with structure is it doesn't really matter how you pull the wood. You know that there is a way to pull the hard parts of the wood. Don't take it from me. I'm not a Jenga master, I promise, right? I'm a Pokemon master, but not a Jenga master. But one thing I will say is there's parts where you can grab the hard part and pull it. Now I'm sounding like bop it, pull it, twist it. You remember that? Bop it. Anyways, what happens is if it doesn't fall, you don't lose. So the other opponent is like, oh shoot, they're pulling the hard ones. I'm gonna go with the soft ones, and then it can fall, right? So when you have structure, you have a way of doing things. The 9 books allows me to structure the chapters in a way from beginning, middle, and end, and you get to see a full chapter. I don't have to worry about chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. Not yet. I just focus on chapter 1 and make chapter 1 the best chapter of all time. All the time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is structure. You structure the story, and then you use the story to create the chapter. You write the chapter, then you draw the chapter, then you drop it on Webtoons or any website you want to drop it on. Then after that, you make the next chapter, and then the chapter next, and then the chapter next. And you keep going. You keep going again and again. You go hard and you keep going again and again. That's structure. And it's good structure. Oh, Batman. 6. Long term. You would not want. You would not. I did not. Long term is the true goal here. Making 9 books. 9 books is what I'm going to do. 9 books is going to tell the true story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the reasons are 6 reasons. I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't keep a face. Ah, man. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm done with the video. I need to go and outside and laugh and crazy. If my life had a laugh track, there'll be a lot of laughing right now. And maybe some aww. That's it for the video. Next video, I'm gonna start working on the first chapter of my webcomic that will become the book later on, and then that book will become an anime. That's it for the video. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you, And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.